things fans, hyper fans, and people just lost looking for videos of cats on YouTube. Before I start with my review, I just want to give a shout out to a couple of people from Twitter. I would like to thank Forgotten, who has sent me along the spare arm for his X-Draver figure, which has now gone onto the KO Hercules. I'm not going to do a final video for that until I've completely finished modding him. I also want to thank Ichabod, who is on the podcast Pre-Order 66, for acting as middleman for a couple of purchases for me, but also for giving me a very good deal on something that I hope to review probably by the end of the month. But enough teasers, let's have a look at today's review. Here you are looking at one of the very early figures from the Thrilling 30 line, TrailCutter. TrailCutter, who, as a Transformers fan since the original G1, it was a no-brainer. I had to get him to make up my cast. There have been a few complaints about him, not the least of which being, if I bring in Starscream, he's actually a little bit on the small side. For me, that's not such a problem. I didn't see him as a huge figure, but a lot of people said that they would rather have seen him as a Voyager class. And whilst Hasbro couldn't really do an awful lot about that, some of the Chinese manufacturers did. Today's review comes courtesy of Sir Toys, the home for all the best and worst Chinese knockoffs, third party and general transforming oddities. We are looking at an oversized version of TrailCutter. Hang on, do we have to still call him TrailCutter if he's a knockoff? Can this be back to being Trailbreaker? If you want to, you can buy this toy and call it Doris. He is a very chunky Voyager size. There he is next to Roadbuster. Same width, same length, and a little bit shorter. Actually that's probably kind of fair, because whilst Roadbuster doesn't have all of his guns on him, just like his Hasbro predecessor, Trailbreaker does have a removable back section. Transformation is absolutely identical to his mini brother. The legs concertina out and clip in. The arms rotate out at the front wheel. Hands fold out and bend up. Chest breaks down. Getting the head out is an absolute nightmare on this figure. But we got there eventually. The arms rotate up and plug in just around the rear view mirrors. Toes fold down, and once I've got this guy standing, I will need to readjust the camera because this guy is huge. In robot mode, oversized Trailbreaker is seriously oversized. If we bring Starscream back in for a second, he absolutely towers over him and is probably coming out closer to 9 inches tall. Just like the Hasbro version, the back section from vehicle mode transforms into a fold-out shield with a handle. Now, because this is an absolute copy, pretty much part for part, of TrailCutter, the giant Trailbreaker has all the problems that the original had. The wrists won't turn. There's actually a little bit of a stress mark there as it came straight out of the packaging. But one of the biggest problems I've got with this KO is that nothing in the legs stays together. These little pegs on the side here, which are supposed to keep his legs in one position, could seriously do with some tightening up, and the hip joints are pretty much frictionless. I think if they could take the technology applied to this hip joint, we'd be using hoverboards now. It really is sort of absolutely friction free. But apart from that single problem, it's actually a really nice toy. He has got infinitely more paint apps than his Hasbro cousin. He obviously has to do without the clear plastic on the windshield and the light piping. And the paint is, I have to admit, a little bit less even. You can just sort of see a little bit of dimpling of the black come through there. The silver's really nice. I like the fact that they've actually picked out his force field generator. They've picked out the winch there, which is just in plain black on Hasbro's outing. But considering that he is twice the size and half the price, he's a very good buy, especially if you don't mind fixing the leg problems. Actually, if you read the IDW comics, him falling over every 15 seconds or so is probably about right. Actually, if you're reading the IDW comics, it shouldn't matter too much that he's standing a head taller than anybody else. If you want to pick one of these up, click on the description below. If you liked this video, please comment, subscribe and share. Until next time, remember, if you're keeping the mint in package, you're not a toy collector, you're a box collector.